Imagine a land consumed by centuries of relentless war, where powerful lords clashed endlessly and the very notion of peace seemed a distant dream. This was Japan during the tumultuous Sengoku or Warring States period. For over a century, chaos reigned, with no central authority strong enough to impose order. Yet from this crucible of conflict emerged a figure who would not only unify the fractured nation, but also forge a new system of governance that would shape Japan's destiny for over 2 centuries. Tokugawa Ieyasu. Born in 1543, amidst the turmoil of the Sengoku period, Ieyasu's early life, initially as Matsudaira Takechiyo, was far from stable. The shifting allegiances and constant military strife of the era cast a long shadow over his childhood. At a tender age, he was separated from his parents and thrust into the precarious world of political hostage-taking, first by the powerful Oda clan and later by the Imagawa clan. These experiences, though challenging, proved formative. He received rigorous training in the arts of war and governance, skills that would become indispensable in his later years. The constant exposure to the strategies and vulnerabilities of rival clans during his time as a hostage likely honed his diplomatic skills and fostered a cautious yet strategic approach to his ambitions. As he navigated the complex political landscape, Ieyasu recognized the importance of strong alliances. He strategically aligned himself with Oda Nobunaga, a powerful warlord who was beginning to exert his dominance. Together, they engaged in prolonged conflicts, most notably against the formidable Takeda clan, eventually leading to their defeat. This partnership proved invaluable for Ieyasu, allowing him to consolidate his own power base and gain crucial military experience under the tutelage of one of Japan's most brilliant military minds. However, their relationship wasn't always seamless, with occasional disagreements highlighting their distinct priorities. Following Nobunaga's assassination, Ieyasu initially found himself in a position of rivalry with Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Nobunaga's successor. Yet, recognizing Hideyoshi's strength, Ieyasu eventually formed an alliance. In a significant move, Hideyoshi granted Ieyasu control over the vast Kanto region, which included the small fishing village of Edo. While seemingly a reward, this relocation strategically positioned Ieyasu far from Hideyoshi's center of power, enabling him to independently build his strength and influence in the East. The death of Toyotomi Hideyoshi in 1598 once again plunged Japan into a delicate power balance. Hideyoshi had appointed a council of regents to govern until his young son came of age, but tensions soon flared among them, particularly between Ieyasu and those loyal to the Toyotomi heir. This ultimately led to the pivotal Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. The battle pitted the Western Army, largely composed of Toyotomi loyalists, against Ieyasu's Eastern Army. On a foggy morning in Mino Province, over 160,000 warriors clashed in what would become the largest and most consequential battle in Japanese feudal history. The fighting was fierce, but Ieyasu had strategically secured alliances with key daimyo and skillfully exploited defections within the Western ranks, most notably that of Kobayakawa Hideaki. These strategic maneuvers proved decisive, leading to a resounding victory for Ieyasu's forces. The triumph at Sekigahara effectively eliminated any significant opposition, establishing Tokugawa Ieyasu as the undisputed de facto ruler of Japan. 3 years after his decisive victory, in 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu was formally appointed shogun by the emperor. This title, signifying supreme military commander, provided the necessary legitimacy for his rule and marked the official beginning of the Tokugawa Shogunate. In a symbolic move that underscored the shift in power, Ieyasu chose to establish his government in Edo, the once small fishing village in the Kanto region. He initiated the extensive construction of Edo Castle, transforming it into a formidable seat of power. This relocation of the capital from the traditional imperial center of Kyoto to Edo symbolized the dawn of a new era, one where military authority held sway. Ieyasu immediately set about consolidating his authority, strategically redistributing fiefs across Japan, rewarding his loyal allies with choice lands, and diminishing the holdings and influence of his former adversaries. This careful allocation of resources and power was fundamental to establishing a stable foundation for the Tokugawa Shogunate. The Tokugawa Shogunate implemented a comprehensive system to govern Japan, known as the Bakuhan system. This was a dual structure of governance, with the shogunate exercising national authority from Edo, while regional domains, or Han, were ruled by daimyo with a degree of autonomy. To maintain tight control over these daimyo, the shogunate implemented several key policies. One of the most significant was the alternate attendance system, or sankinkotai. This required daimyo to spend every other year in Edo, effectively keeping them under the shogun's watchful eye and straining their finances through the expense of maintaining 2 residences and traveling with large retinues. Furthermore, the families of the daimyo were required to remain in Edo as hostages, ensuring their loyalty. The shogunate also imposed strict restrictions on the daimyo, limiting the construction of castles, controlling their marriage alliances, and restricting their contact with foreign powers. The foundation of Tokugawa society was a rigid 4-tiered class system known as Shinokosho. At the apex were the samurai, the ruling warrior class, followed by farmers, who were considered essential as producers of food. Artisans, skilled in various crafts, occupied the 3rd tier, while merchants involved in trade and commerce were placed at the bottom of the official hierarchy, despite often accumulating significant wealth. This strict social order, influenced by Confucian ideals, aimed to maintain stability, although social mobility did occur despite the official restrictions. Furthermore, the Tokugawa Shogunate implemented a policy of national seclusion, or sakoku, severely limiting contact with the outside world. This was intended to eliminate foreign influence and preserve the stability of the shogunate. The establishment of the Tokugawa Shogunate under Ieyasu ushered in an unprecedented era of peace and stability that lasted for over 250 years. This extended period of tranquility fostered significant economic growth, leading to the flourishing of urban centers like Edo, Osaka, and Kyoto, and the rise of a wealthy merchant class. This era also witnessed a remarkable flourishing of arts and culture, with the emergence of iconic forms like kabuki theater, ukiyo-e, woodblock prints, and renowned literary works. The stability and unification achieved under the Tokugawa Shogunate, largely the vision and creation of Tokugawa Ieyasu, ultimately laid the crucial foundations for Japan's rapid modernization during the Meiji Restoration. In conclusion, Tokugawa Ieyasu stands as a monumental figure in Japanese history. Through his strategic brilliance, political acumen, and unwavering determination, he brought an end to the long era of warring states and established the Tokugawa Shogunate, a system that would govern Japan for over 2 centuries. His legacy as the architect of feudal Japan continues to resonate, shaping our understanding of this pivotal period in history and its profound impact on Japanese society and culture.